Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone.
Note, this video is intended for people who are going to do their own research, know the true intentions of said company, and / or just want to hear my opinion. Not for people who are really young, join for some fun, to get educated and stuff like that. You've been warned. Autism Speaks, the organization that tells autistic people to hide their autism, tell families to abort their child because they have autism, has put most of their funds into themselves and such, and says that autism is a disease. Yeah, that one really pissed me off. Because if you actually know what autism exactly is, you will know that autism is not a freaking disease. If you look it up on Wikipedia, it actually says autism is a developmental disorder characterized by difficulties of social interactions, communications, and by restricted repetitive behavior. You're not a disease, a freaking disorder, which Autism Speaks is saying it is. And it's also saying that it's curable. I'm just sorry about what? And you may say, like, no, everyone that I've interacted does not say that. But, well, that means you're lucky, honey. That means you've been freaking lucky. Because you're not been contacting the idiots who actually believe this crap. And back on track onto the freaking funds. And so, I'm pretty much on how Autism Speaks pretty much spent the money that other people have been fundraising for them. Most of the money goes to themselves. Like the Kids Wish Network, which is not popular. There is actually like the Kids Make-A-Wish Foundation, but it's far more worse. If you want to do your own research on the Kids Wish Network, that's completely on you. If you want my own opinions about it, it sucks. That's all I'm just gonna say about it. It frickin' sucks. And it's also very greedy, like Autism Speaks. Only 20% of the money goes to families. Families and organizations and research and all of that, and to help with autism. While majority of the money, I think it was about like 80% around that number, goes to themselves. And I wish I'm lying about that part. I freaking wish I'm lying about that part. But it's not. But I'm not lying. If you actually look it up yourself, you will see that majority of the money, for so many years, for many freaking years, most of the money goes to themselves. And that just honestly makes me very upset. And this video is all over the place. I'm very sorry, but I did say this is a ranting video. I did not say this is a ranting video. The title did say it's gonna be a ranting video. This is pretty much a ranting video, But anyway, back onto the freaking Autism Speaks is calling this whole entire autism as a whole as a disease. As for someone who have actually interacted with autistic people, as someone who actually get inspired by autistic creators and all of that, I have to say, fuck you, Autism Speaks. Fuck you. You are literally the reason why so many people treat autism as a disease, as an actual disease. Why so many people have actually do not see autism as just something that is just different. Autism that is just something that is just a learning curve, a little bump in the road that can be successfully climbed over. Is it gonna be a freaking huge bump? Really counts on the spectrum of the autistic person, but it's still possible. It's still very much possible. And I don't care you actually help some families. If you actually believe that bullcrap that autism is a disease, I will never support you. Especially the majority of your freaking employees believe that. I will never ever support you if you actually do that crap. That's why it has gotten so bad. And it had gotten so bad that you actually had to hire autistic people as your spokespeople, or whatever they're called. Well, because you're trying to make yourself have a good image, which to so many people, even it is a good step forward, you're still 100 steps back. Because you still think autism is a disease, you still recommend people who actually have who actually is having a baby, and telling them to abort it because it has autism. I just cannot support that. I cannot support that. But I cannot support a person who believes a freaking whole entire organization that is supposed to help autistic people to make their lives a little bit easier. And just failing a whole entire community. And I'm not surprised if because you're just greedy and you don't actually see the bigger picture of what autistic people have to deal with. Autistic people are literally have to deal with so much bullshit because of the false freaking lies you have to freaking tell everyone. And on your 100 days kit, or whatever it is freaking called. No, that was no. Look, there was a literal line, a whole entire quote that says that you're autistic, that pretty much says, not directly by the way, but pretty much says that the autistic child will cause your marriage to fail. I'm sorry, but that is just a 100% lie. If your marriage has failed, it's because as both of you did not. It's the only reasons why a marriage had failed is because both parents have failed each other and the child. They will never ever gonna blame the child for their own choices, unless they're absolute dickheads. And actually do blame the child, even though it's their fault for not actually putting all of their all into the family. Because they didn't, and all of that, they failed themselves and their families. That's the real reason for a divorce. Of course, yes, there are many other reasons for it, but that is pretty much one of the most common reasons for divorce. Please don't tell me the milk is spoiled. I'm sorry. I have milk out and I'm walking around. I just talk better that way. Anyway. Fuck you, Autism Speaks. Just fuck you. You are literally the worst organization ever. To the point where actual autistic people have to make their own organizations just to protect the new generations of autistic people from you. I know I went from pretty much a whole entire third person, or no. I know I went from trying to talk about autistic people as that they're not listening, but I'm gonna talk about. But I'm just so mad about Autism Speaks, to the point where I'm just so mad. I'm just done with it. I just want Autism Speaks to not try to improve themselves, but to destroy themselves. I want them to be gone. I don't want their stupid, petty lies to spread anymore. I don't want them to exist anymore. Or it literally hurt a lot of autistic people because of the lies that they have told of their parents. You have told so many lies to the parents, to the point where I just cannot support you, and it would be better for you to be gone than anything. You have done your damage. You have done pretty much everything wrong, and there's other organizations that are actually doing a much more better job than you. I honestly wish that I can actually beat you up with a chair for what you have done, to so many autistic people. Yeah, you may have done a few good deeds, but those few good deeds does not clean up your whole entire act for that is against the rest of the community. You treat autism as a disease, you'll get so many people, both non-autistic and autistic, and people who are just, there's so many people who are just gonna be against you and pretty much will say, I hope that you are gonna be taken down for all the lies that you have told, for all the lies that actually have broken families. I will never forgive you for telling the lies. I may forgive you for not knowing and all of that, but if you did not know all of that, and all of the videos that have actually pretty much talked about you, if that does not help you, then honestly, you're an idiot. You are someone who doesn't, you're either an idiot or someone who is selfish, who is greedy, and who doesn't care for the people who's they're supposed to help. You instead have pretty much destroyed a lot of families because of your selfishness and your greed and your stupidity. You are pretty much an organization that so many autistic people are begging for people to not support. And actually, they want people, and so many people are actually trying to do their best to recommend other organizations because they actually know what autism is. They actually know how to actually give autistic people the proper treatment to actually help them to have their best lives. There is no such thing as a cure. Autism will never get cured, and that's completely fine. Because I have a best friend who is autistic. She is one of my best friends, and she is weird as like me, and because we're both weird, we pretty much are two peas in a pod. You may see her disability as an issue, while I see it as something that just link me and my best friend together. Because we both have very similar interests and actually see each other not as individual people, but as friends. I see her not with someone with a disability, but with someone who is weird as me. Sorry about that. My brother was being a dickhead and decided to pretty much make the hallway lights go flash and scare the living crap out of me. Anyway, just do your own proper research and support other organizations except Autism Speaks. Just please do your research. I don't want this freaking organization to pretty much exist anymore. After what they have pretty much said about autistic people now, I just can't anymore with this stupid freaking company. Anyway, I think that should be it. Again, please do your own research and such. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video.
You're always wanting to pretend. I see right through your selfishness. I choose but I don't want to face. Swear
This is in the